your boy J Best, your boy Real, your boy Jared, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 3, episode 41. On today's episode, we're gonna go right back to football, y'all, because there was a big trade this past weekend between the Commanders and the 49ers, and also just yesterday, the Eagles gave Saquon a bag. All right, we're gonna talk about that, and then we're gonna end this episode with Kyrie Irving's injury and being out for the rest of the year. Before we get into any of that, as always, we want to thank God for waking us up this morning, allowing us to talk about sports, but it's something that we love to do. And without him, we will not be here right now. So let's go ahead and let's get straight to the point. All right. First things first, CJ Stroud jersey giveaway. All right. So February is over, and somebody did win the Lamar Jackson jersey, but now we're moving over to March, and we're about to give away a CJ Stroud jersey right here behind me. All right. Look, rules to the game are get my subscribers up to 400, comment on this video, and you'll enter the drawing for the CJ Stroud jersey. All right. It's pretty simple. So tell your friends, share it. All right, share the podcast with your friends, and then get my subscribers up to 400. Comment on the video. You have a chance to win this CJ Stroud jersey behind me. All right, it's legit. We promise. We ain't scamming. It's all legit. All right, let's get down to business, fellas. All right. Just this past weekend, there was breaking news. All right, the Commanders traded Deebo Samuel. No, the 49ers traded Deebo Samuel to the Commanders, and just for a 5th-round pick, fellas. All right, so this is a big move by a team that made it to the NFC Championship last year. All right, trying to capitalize on having a good young QB. Jared, what's your reaction to this trade?
I'm not as much shocked about the trade itself. I'm more so shocked about the details because what direction is the 49ers going in? Like, I feel like this isn't a team where we need to be blowing things up. I mean, I've heard Deebo Samuel's not really happy. He wanted to be traded, but at the same time, it's like you still need these weapons. Like, now I hear that Brandon Ayuk could potentially be on the market. You need these guys because, mind you, your team, you're not going into a rebuild. You had a bad year due to injuries. You're still playoff contenders. Like, when you're healthy, you're going to win your division. That's how good you are. When you're healthy, you should be in the NFC Championship playing against the Philadelphia Eagles. That's how good you are. So for you to give up Deebo Samuel, okay, we can trade him. That's fine. But for a 5th-round pick, I think that's a little – I think they got honestly, they got fleeced. I really do. But, I mean, then again, it makes sense. Health concerns. I think Deebo Samuel has only played one full season. He's only played one full season. Now, every other season, he's missed like a couple of seasons by just 2 games. But he's only missed one full season. And in the full season that he played was the only time that he's eclipsed 1,000 receiving yards. Mind you, we know Deebo Samuel, he's not a receiving first type of player. He's a gadget player. You can use him all around, run game, pass game, all that's fine. But if you look at his rushing numbers, his highest was in that 2021 year when he had the 1,000 receiving yards, 365 rushing yards. Other than that, he hasn't touched 300 rushing yards since then. So I think that it's a little bit of like Washington told them, look, he's not always healthy. And if you really look at his production, if you trade based off his production, then that 5th-round pick doesn't sound too bad. But I think that because we know what he can do, and mind you, you're sending him to a team, Jaden Daniels just had a great year with just Terry McLaurin. So now you're going to add Deebo to Scary Terry, adding them to that offense that you have Cliff Kingsbury running. Like, it's just more weapons for Jaden Daniels to utilize. And I think that they're really trying to make this move to be able to combat with the Philadelphia Eagles with all the star power they have over there. So I'm not surprised by the trade. I'm just surprised by what the trade was actually for, being that 5th-round pick.
All right, Real.
Yes, sir. So I think it was a good trade for both teams. 49ers, they're tired of that diva queen over there. As we know, Deebo Samuel. I remember earlier this year, like week 7, their kicker missed like 3 field goals, all in the same game. And Deebo Samuel, at the end of the game, he goes to him, he just like pushes him or something, like basically just manhandles him like he's a bully. And like, this is still your teammate, like one of the most important players on your team. It's just like Deebo Samuel, he's had a drop problem this year. If he drops 3 balls in the game, I'm not gonna go up to Deebo Samuel and just be like, whoa, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So they definitely needed to get that diva queen out of town. As Jarek said, he had an injury problem. I felt like he had one really really good season, and we kind of got confused with that season. But he's been a really really good player for the 49ers, and he's just like Jerry said, he's not a receiver. He's more of a gadget player. So you can't really just tell him to go out there and run these type of routes and expect him to get open. But with that being said, with him going to the Commanders, I felt like he went to the most perfect offense he could besides San Fran, because Cliff Kingsbury, he runs more of a college style offense. He runs more of an RPO type offense. And with Jaden Daniels, man, Jaden Daniels and Deebo Samuel, I'd like to see that. I think that's going to look really, really good. I think a triple option with him and Brian Robinson is going to look really good. And I think that just adds another weapon to that already explosive offense. So I really, really like the trade. And I think both teams won. Like Jerry said, a 5th-round pick. They kind of got fleeced. They kind of didn't get fleeced because Deebo Samuel's on the books right now for $20 million. So did they really get fleeced?
All right. I think for the Commanders, it's funny because I was watching First Things First earlier today, and one thing that Nick Wright said that I really had me thinking was, is Deebo on a decline? Meaning that he didn't really like this trade that much because he doesn't know how much Deebo has left in the tank. He said it's because when running backs don't last that long, right? Theoretically speaking, a lot of running backs, they have a short prime because running backs, they get worn down, the wear and tear, right? It's different than any other position. So he's saying because Debo has been used like a running back with San Francisco, has that taken some years off of Debo? Has that taken something away from him? That's we're gonna have to find out, right? We're gonna have to find out when this season start how much does he really have left in the tank. I'm not gonna go all in and say the Commanders traded for nothing. I think Debo still got something left, right? But we're gonna figure that out when the season starts. But I love what the Commanders did. This is what remember Jared. I don't know. I think all three of us on the episode. Maybe it was just Jared, but I said that the Eagles are the prototype, right? Go and get talent and add them to your team. Period. And we saw it last year with the Texans, right? They got a quarterback to CJ Stroud, and they said, you know what, we're gonna just add talent. They added Neil Hunter. They added Stephon Diggs. Now Stephon Diggs got hurt, of course, but they said, look, we got a quarterback now. We're gonna add talent and try to maximize the opportunity before we gotta pay CJ Stroud. Same thing with the Commanders, right? This is the first move they made. I promise you, this ain't the last move they're gonna make. And if I'm the Commanders, honestly, I'm trying to get Myles Garrett. That's what I'm trying to do next. Right? That's the biggest trade I'm trying to make next. But they're doing what they're supposed to do. Add pieces. Do not sit here and say, okay, we're gonna draft, we're gonna do this. No, they're technically in win now mode to an extent because you overachieved in your first year. You did so well. Jaden Daniels looked so good that we can only assume that he's going to get better the next year. It's like the Texans, right? We can only assume CJ Stroud's going to get better the next year. So just add talent to the team and see what you can do. Now, it don't mean nothing, right? Because we all know who in their division. We all know who in their conference, right? So this move ain't do nothing to me. But I like the move, and like Rail said, seeing Jaden Daniels and Deebo in the same offense, what is Cliff gonna do with that? Or are we gonna see some read options with Deebo and Cliff? I mean, with Deebo and Jaden Daniels, right? So it opened your eyes a little bit, and it said, okay, this is a nice move, but to me, it don't move the needle. Like I said, there's a ginormous animal in your division right now that this don't really do too much for me. All right, anything y'all want to say?
They have the speaking about them. This not being the last move they're gonna make. They are third when it comes to most cap space in the NFL.
100%.
So they definitely have the money to go out and make some more moves. So I think the Eagles, they got some. I mean, they addressed one need, but they addressed one priority, but they got some more signings, re-signing they need to go ahead and figure out before you know, crown this repeat.
I guaranteed it on the Super Bowl recap episode. I already guaranteed it.
Okay. They let Big Play Sight go. They let him walk.
Bradbury. I know Bradbury wasn't a big part of that team, but they let him go too.
Cool.
They're gonna have to let a lot more guys go.
Y'all know who their GM is, right? Y'all know who that man is. Well, I'm not worried about Darius Slay going. That's cool. Like Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean right there. All right. Like you said, Bradbury wasn't a big part of the team last year. That's cool. We can go. I think they're priority. If they just bring back, what's my boy, middle linebacker, Zach
Zach
Brown.
Brown. I think that's why
Zach
they're
Brown.
doing this. I think they're trying to clear up some cap to come and get him back.
And if they can bring back Josh Sweat too, I don't mind you losing Milton Williams. I don't mind that. But if you can bring back Josh Sweat and Zach, you're good. Right? The train gonna just keep on rolling. That's all it's gonna do. But I had to bring up the Eagles because I heard somebody today on a big network. I can't remember what it was. I think on the Rich Eisen show, they said after this trade, the Commanders are the team to beat in the NFC. So I don't. So I wanted to say that because I want people to know that this trade did not put them where some people think they are. Like they're making steps in the right direction, right? But let's see how this offseason ends. Last year when they traded for Marshawn Lattimore, it really didn't show as much last season, but it will this season, right? That was a good investment. I think Marshawn still got something left. Rail no. Right? No, he a dog. He knows. Right? So they gonna have that next year, and they have Deebo. So that's two additions that they've already made. Like Jake said, they got third most cap. And look, if I'm the Commanders, bro, y'all agree they should go pull the trigger on Myles Garrett.
Like with the picks and every, like give up their picks.
I don't know. I don't know. I think that they can. I mean, they need a game changer, but I don't think getting Myles Garrett is the way to go about it. I think you have to give up too much capital.
I think they can address the D line or like any position they need. I think they can definitely address it in free agency.
Yeah,
Increasing cap and like all these players that want new contracts everywhere. Most definitely.
They can. And in my eyes, I see what y'all are saying, man. In my eyes, I feel like you got third most cap, like y'all said, right? And believe it or not, it's sad to say this because so much pressure we're putting on Jaden Daniels and Dan Quinn. It's so much pressure we're putting on them because of how they overachieve. But the window is open. Like I think it's open because you have if Jaden Daniels continue to get better than what we saw last year, it's assuming he don't just fall off. Like assuming he wasn't just a one and done. I'm gonna show y'all this for 1 year. After that, I fall apart. Assuming that does not happen, which I don't think it will. Your window is open. You arguably, as of right now today, they might have the third or second best quarterback in their conference. If we're being real, based on last year, I think they do. Like, really think about it. Who else is in that conference?
I mean, there's no real quarterbacks in the NFC.
Yeah, just Jalen Hurts.
Boom. So if
Jordan
I got
Love.
that, yeah, Jordan Love, I think would be the debate. And Stafford, we don't know.
There's no
that.
debate. After what we saw this past year, there's no debate.
Okay,
From this past season, we're taking Jaden Daniels over Jordan Love.
Okay.
That boy showed me nothing. He showed me nothing.
I said 2 or 3. That's what I said. I said 2 or 3. So as of right now, 2 because Stafford is probably gone. We don't know where he go. I think he might be going to the Raiders. We don't know. But I got the second best QB in the conference, third most cap space. Hey, I'm pulling that trigger. And one thing I forgot, I think Real said this about somebody. You said this a while ago about how if your draft pick's gonna be late moving forward, we're assuming the Commanders gonna be a good team for the next couple of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
State draft picks gonna be late. So to me, I don't mind giving up 2 to 3 first round picks for Myles Garrett, knowing them picks gonna be 25 through 32. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm not trading for Myles and we're gonna get worse. We're going to get better. We just went to the NFC Championship. So if I'm the Commanders, I am going all in, like as of today. And that's so I think that they really should pull the trigger for Myles. I don't want to see Myles go there because I said I want to see him go to Buffalo, but I think that if I'm the Commanders, bro, I'm pulling this trigger on Myles. Maybe sign a really good receiver in free agency. Somebody like a Chris Godwin, something like that, because they got the money to do it.
What do you need that for? Do you have? I think they need to just. This is like, even if they do get Myles or not, just stay on the defensive side. Like this was your offensive move. That's fine. Maybe if you need to address the O line, which I don't really think they really need to. You have to address the defense, though. I think all of their money really needs to go into that defense.
Yeah, and I think once again the Marshawn thing, it didn't show itself last year. I think it's gonna show itself this year, though. And then having Myles at defense automatically gets better. And to me, I don't want to, and I think the trap that you would fall into because of how you're thinking right now. This is no shade, but how you're thinking right now is Jaden Daniels is so good that I don't necessarily have to give him that many weapons. But
He has his number one. He has his
he's
number one. He has a solid, since he's now a real number two, it's a good number two. And he's more than just a receiver, like we said. And then you have a good running game. If they use the running game a little bit more, prioritize Brian Robinson a little bit more, I think he can have a breakout year. So I think that they don't really need a nice wide receiver three. Look at Philly's wide receiver three. He's not that special. You know?
but they also got what's it called in the backfield. Like that's
That is so true. But like I said, utilize Brian Robinson a little bit more. We're not, of course, he's not going to give you Saquon production, but he can give you more than what y'all allowed him to give you. Make it a lot easier on Jaden Daniels.
yeah. I think that the Commanders need to be as aggressive as possible right now. Because as of right now, going into next year, outside of Philly, who are the Commanders like? Okay, that's another team I got to worry about. If Stafford leaves the Rams, I don't know what the Rams gonna look like next year. The Packers, there's a verdict out for Jordan Love, right? We saw a good Jordan Love year before last on the back end of the season. This year we had high expectations. He failed, right? And then when you look around,
Detroit,
you're right, Detroit, but they just lost all their coaches. I gotta see it. I'm not saying they're gonna just be terrible, but do I think they're gonna be the same as they was this past year? I don't think so. And you're better than Jared Goff. So going into that game, I got the better QB. I need to match the team around me, right? And to me, that Myles Garrett move is going to put them above the Lions, in my opinion. But I think that you got to be aggressive now, especially before Jaden Daniels' contract comes up, because you know he going to break the bank. Like we all know this. So this is why I think we go ahead and capitalize on that, right? But let's go move on to some more NFL news. The Eagles, speaking of the Eagles, they just gave Saquon Barkley a 2-year, $41.2 million extension. All right. This is big time for the running back community, big time for the position. All right, Jared, what's your reaction to this?
it's a big time, but it's not as like I'm not as impressed as some people are with this number. If you break it down, 41.2 million for 2 years, that's 20.6 million. Christian McCaffrey is getting 19 million. Of course, Christian McCaffrey, we know when he's on the field, he is a top guy, just like Saquon Barkley. But it's not a lot higher than what Christian McCaffrey's getting. It's really not. Now, when you look at the third guy, Jonathan Taylor, he's making 14 million. Now, that's when you really look at the difference by a lot. But I thought that after the year that Saquon Barkley just had, he would have well surpassed Christian McCaffrey by at least a couple million. But, I mean, it's big for the running back market. It really is. And I think that it's going to make teams look at the position a little bit more to see if I think that the running game is going to start getting a little bit more priority in the league, especially for teams that don't have a Patrick Mahomes. You don't have a Josh Allen. You don't have a Joe Burrow. I mean, yes, Jalen Hurts is one of them ones, but they still prioritizing the run game, which makes things a lot easier. So I think that teams are going to start looking at the running back position a lot more. But, I mean, it's great. It's great for the league because running backs have been disrespected a lot. They really have. And it's good to see that we know Saquon Barkley. We know what he's going to be for years to come. If you look at the top 10 highest paid running backs, only 5 of the top 10 highest paid running backs going into off of last year were top 10 rushers in the league. You had Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, James Conner, and Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard is making $8.3 million. It's a big difference between him and the top 3 guys. I think that, like I said, the running back position is taken for granted. It really is. I think that it's time for teams to start looking at the running back position more, paying these running backs what they deserve, and bring the running game back. The running game can still win you football games. You don't have to go out there and try to outduel other quarterbacks. You don't have to go out there and say my quarterback's better than yours. My quarterback has a better arm than yours. You don't have to. If you can have a good run game, which starts with the O line, but you also have to look at the backfield, get a good running back. It's gonna make things a lot easier. But this is big for the running back market, and I think that's well deserved.
All right, bro.
Yeah, shout out Saquon. Shout out to the running back market. Shout out to shout out to all the running backs, really, all around the world right now. This is a big win for them because a couple years ago they were definitely feeling really disrespected. But even though I really vouched for them to treat running backs the right way, I felt like this was a terrible contract just because of what other players would demand now. Now there are players like James Cook, Najee Harris, Kyron Williams up for contracts, and whenever they want contracts, they're going to want 20 million plus type of deals. And the way the NFL works is they love to reset contracts. So the second best player, the third best player in line, what they want to do is they want to get the next highest paid contract just so they could brag about it. That's just how the NFL works. But I'm a firm believer in running backs not being able to last longer than NFL. I'm a strong believer in that. I feel like you draft a running back for 5 years, maybe sign him to a 2 to 3 year deal, and maybe that's the most you'll get out of him. And we've seen it in the past. We've seen it with Todd Gurley, Melvin Gordon, Adrian Peterson. The list goes on and on and on. There's so many running backs that have signed huge contracts, and they just haven't been able to withstand the heat that it takes for being a running back in the NFL. It's really hard. You're taking a lot of hits. You're running the ball every week. It's just really, really hard. And I just feel like with everything going on in the NFL today, like the running back market is just gonna shoot all the way up, and it's just gonna be crazy.
I agree 1,000% with Real said. I love this for the. And look, it's simple. All right, I don't gotta sit here and break down nothing. It is so simple. If you're that guy, if you're that dude, if you're a game changer, you should be getting paid up here. If you're not, you should not be getting paid like that. That's just how it needs to be. I'm tired of this whole resetting the market trend that's been happening, especially with the quarterbacks. I've been saying how much I hated that Prescott got paid that much money. How much I hated that Tua got paid that much money. How much I hated that Trevor Lawrence got paid that much money. They're not game changers. You're not going to win with them. I guarantee you, the Cowboys, the Dolphins, and the Jaguars are not winning nothing no time soon. I can guarantee you that. And you made those three. Like once upon a time, Tua was the highest paid, Trevor was the highest paid, right? And then of course Dak is the highest paid now. But if you're not that guy, you should not be getting paid like that. Like I don't think running backs should be saying, "Ooh, Saquon saved us." No, he didn't. Saquon saved the guys, the dudes that should have been paid like this since day one. The Derrick Henrys, the Christian McCaffreys, right? Himself. I would throw Jonathan Taylor in there, and I would throw Jahmyr Gibbs in there. After that, I'm really struggling to find somebody else that should be paid to the extent of them, right? Because those are five dudes that they are difference makers. Look at what Derrick Henry did with the Ravens, right? The Ravens had a good running game prior to Derrick Henry because y'all were about Lamar Jackson, right? And also had a good old line. But they had guys like Justice Hill, J.K. Dobbins, right? Gus Edwards. But when you put Derrick Henry back there, we saw a difference, right? Derrick was second leading rusher only because Saquon was just crazy this year. Same with the Eagles. We saw what Miles Sanders and DeAndre Swift could do behind that O-line, which was solid. It was pretty good. But when you add Saquon Barkley, he changes the game. So there's running backs that change the game. Same thing with the 49ers. Oh my God. Look. And before C-Mac, who did you have? Right? You had the Matt Braders, the Raheem Mosterts, right? You had the little committee that Kyle Shanahan had who was solid. They was pretty good. You went to a Super Bowl with that committee. But then you add Christian McCaffrey, he just changes the game. So there's only some running backs that you can pay like this. It's not for all running backs. So like you said, with much respect to James Cook, much respect to Najee. Jerry, you know we got respect for Najee, right? But y'all should not be getting paid the same way that Saquon, C-Mac, Derrick Henry, right? Jahmyr Gibbs to me is the only guy that can say, "Oh, I'm next," right? Oh, when I'm ready to get paid, drop the bag on me, and I don't mind the Lions doing that at all because he is special. He's a difference maker. But these other running backs, I don't think you should be getting paid to this extent. So in regards to him signing this extension, it's the same thing we asked after the Super Bowl episode we did. Is Saquon going to save this market? Did he save the market? He saved it for the top guys who should have been getting paid big dollars from day one. But for the rest of y'all, nah, y'all gonna get this. Who y'all said make 8 million?
Chuba Hubbard, 8.3 million.
Cuba,
10
you'll
plays
get
per
that
game.
8, that 9, that 10. You gonna get that, but you're not getting 20. Don't ask.
I don't think running backs will though. I don't. I just think that running backs will be. I think that all people that consider their running backs to be their franchise running back, they will all make over 10 million, which is okay. That's not bad. Josh Jacobs makes 12 million right now. I don't think it's bad for all of the guys. So like, if we were gonna go forward, Najee Harris being our guy, give him 10, give him 11 million. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. When James Cook contract comes up, if he makes his way to 13, 14 million, that's okay. Jonathan Taylor right now makes $14 million. But I don't think, and because with the quarterback situation and the running back situation, like Tyrell said, running backs, they're so short lived. You draft them, they have their good rookie contract, you extend them for a couple of years, and that's the best you're going to get out of them. Then they're going to start to break down, they're going to start to regress, unless you're Derrick Henry, of course, because he's just built different. So I don't think that people are going to take that chance because of how short-lived it is compared to a quarterback. If you think that that's your guy, you're going to want to hold on to your guy because you know that quarterbacks last long. So that's just, I think it's just completely different. So I honestly don't think that running backs are going to be like, me next. I need to be making Saquon, Christian McCaffrey money. I think that they're going to be saying, I should be making Jonathan Taylor money, which is still a little bit too much because now all these running backs should be making 14, 15 million. But I think that they'll be closer to that range than Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley because that's just the top guys making top dollar as they deserve. So I don't think it's going to do too much, too crazy to the running back market. I just think it's going to boost it and help these guys out to get clear of the $10 million situation. Like Joe Mixon, 8.5 million. So I just think that it's going to get them to closer to the 10 area.
Real.
Yeah, I feel you on that, but I also can't say the same because I feel like these running backs are going to start asking for the 17, 18, 19. It's going to get that high. That's how high this running back market is going to get just because the James Cooks of the league, he thinks he's that good. You know what I'm saying? Just going off ego problems. Like I was telling your brother earlier, Najee Harris has had 1,000 yards every single time he's been in the NFL.
Yeah.
So he's gonna want money. He's gonna be like, hey, you guys just cut my option this year. I want to be paid, or I'm gonna walk, and somebody's gonna give him that money because of what the running back market is now. But back to what I was saying earlier about the running backs, these like running backs, we just never seen a team just constantly lean on one guy for multiple years, and that running back still be the same guy after all those years. The only guy, like Jerry said, has been Derrick Henry. We seen Saquon Barkley have a big year this year. I guarantee he doesn't have that many touches next year. God forbid any injuries happen. Even if he stays 100% healthy, I guarantee he doesn't touch that many touches next year. CMC, we saw him touch the ball dang near every play a couple years ago. And that's why the beginning of the season he wasn't healthy enough to start the season. He couldn't start till week 10 because of all the hits and everything he took last season. He was feeling it at the beginning of the season. We seen Todd Gurley do the same thing. We seen Adrian Peterson do the same thing. CJ2K. We seen so many running backs have a really good season because their team gave them 200 plus carries, 300 plus carries, and basically had 75% of their usage on offense. We're seeing these running backs have that much usage on offense, and the next year they're just not the same guy because injuries happen. And whenever you're running back touching the ball 30 times a game, you have more of a chance to get injured. So if these players have 30 chances a game to get injured, and you get injured one time out of 400 plays all year, you might not come back the same guy. And we've seen it with multiple running backs. We've seen it with multiple positions. You get hurt, you tweak the wrong thing, you just might not come back the same guy. And that's real hard to say whenever you're investing all this money into a guy for a whole bunch of years.
That's what I was just about to say. Like we say that he shouldn't get as many carries just to kind of preserve his body, right? You want him to last long. But at the end of the day, I just gave you a bag. Like I'm gonna want my production, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a business. Right? We all know how this works. If I pay you this much money, you gonna get the ball. Like you gonna give me my investment. I invested in you to make us better for the next couple of years. Doggone it, you gonna run this ball. Like I feel like that it could end up being like that. But the thing about the Eagles is, um, their O line is so good that I don't think Saquon is getting the normal abuse that a running back gets. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Saquon, we saw a lot this year. Saquon hitting the hole, he's gone. Like, it's a lot. Saquon not really getting touched that much because of how good his line is. So it's a unique situation. Um, but yeah, like you said, the NFL market in general. Like, I honestly believe in a perfect world, which we're not in a perfect world, but it should be close to this. When I look at the top 5 quarterbacks, top 5 running backs, top 5 receivers, they should be getting paid like top 5 quarterbacks, top 5 running backs, top 5 receivers. Right? There should be nobody outside the top 10 of your position getting paid more than anybody in the top 10 of that position. Y'all see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Like Tua is close to the top when it comes to getting paid, right? We know Tua ain't like that. So why I just and of course it can't be, it's not perfect, right? But it should be when I look at the top 10 quarterbacks, it should almost be in that order of how y'all getting paid. Like the only reason Mahomes is not the highest paid is because he had that 500 million over how many years was it?
10 years.
10 years. Like you stretched it out so it don't look like that much yearly. But we all know he signed a $500 million contract, right? Like that's just that because that's Mahomes. But I feel like Mahomes should be the highest paid. Then you look at Burrow should be the highest paid. Josh Allen should be the highest paid. Lamar should be the highest paid. Hurts should be the highest paid. Like these guys should be at the top of the list. Trevor should be nowhere near there. Tua should be nowhere near there. The only reason I gave Jared Goff, I kind of let him slide when he signed that extension last year, going into this past year, is because he had gotten better every year with the Lions. So I think they believe, okay, he might get us to the Super Bowl. Because remember, they were solid. They didn't make the playoffs, got to the conference championship. And then this year, we all expected them to go to the Super Bowl, right? But he kind of went to bed. So in my honest opinion, I think the Lions are kind of like it could be a one-time thing. I could be wrong, but I think I just gave you that money. You went to bed in the playoffs. Like, which are we gonna go up from here? Or are we gonna keep going down from here? So I don't know. I think just the market in general is funny with the NFL, and that's why I really hated those quarterbacks getting paid like that. Honestly, it really bothered me. All right.
Yeah. I let Goff slide too a little bit because if I'm not mistaken, I think he took Detroit to the conference championship for the first time.
Yep.
So I let him slide just a little bit for that. But yeah, you're right. He just wet the bed this year completely.
And people like Jared don't think that it's gonna be a trend. Like Jared think they're gonna be all right next year.
Because of wait, are you saying the Lions?
Yeah, golf for the golf division.
Yeah, they're gonna bounce back, bro. They'll be in the NFC if unless Washington makes more moves and like teams come out and build juggernauts, they'll be in the NFC Championship next year.
Yeah. We gonna see. Like I said, I paid Jared Goff when he was coached by Ben Johnson. That's what I paid. Right?
Hey,
so
man, don't count the brother out. It's simple. Give the ball to Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery. Make the throws to Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's simple.
You know how I feel about that. And real, I don't know if I think I told you in the group chat one time. I don't like this whole two-headed monster with Montgomery and Gibbs. I don't. Y'all argument is going to be that it kind of like preserves Jameer Gibbs' body, splitting touches, right? That's y'all argument. I don't have a problem with that. But y'all saw those last couple of games of the season when Montgomery was hurt. Y'all saw what Gibbs did with that ball.
Yes.
Like, I feel like you can low-key have a top 3 running back in the league if you give Jameer the touches that Saquon, C-Mac, Derek get. I understand the body thing, which is very valid, which is why I kind of back off. But in my opinion, you kind of holding back Jameer a little bit.
But why? I mean, from a personal standpoint, yes. But I'm not gonna say like you're holding him back. You're not holding your team back. It's not like you giving the ball to David Montgomery. If he didn't get injured, he's gonna be 1,000-yard running back this year. So it's not like, okay, I have Jameer Gibbs who's up here and I have David Montgomery who's down here. So us taking away carries from him hurts the team. No, your running game is just as strong when you give it to David Montgomery as Jahmyr Gibbs and vice versa. So that's the only reason why I feel like keep going with it. David Montgomery not gonna be there forever. So whenever he does end up moving on and past his prime and they start cutting back, like his touches not gonna be their touches aren't gonna be equal for too much longer. And especially as Jahmyr Gibbs keeps getting more years in the league, like I said, David Montgomery's getting older and Jahmyr's starting to come into his self more. So it's not gonna be the same for much longer. But yeah, if it's not holding back the team, don't go away from it.
That's valid. Like I said, I think this is a two things can be true kind of conversation. But I saw 3 straight 100-yard games with 5 touchdowns over that last 3 game span without Montgomery, right? So I think that to some degree you kind of hold it back and gives a little bit. Real, what you think about that?
Facts. Every game though, because remember we were betting on him. Every game though, he had over 30 carries though, over 30 touches.
Yeah, whether it was catching or receiving, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I got you.
And you don't want your running back doing that every game. You know what I'm saying? 17 games.
You don't. You're right. You're right. That's so. It's a weird situation with the running backs, just because of how they bodies get abused, like we said, right? You want to get this body rocks. You want to get this guy to rock so much because they so good, but at the end of the day, you like I don't want to give it to you that much. I want you to be this good for this long, right? It's a weird situation to be in. All right, but let's go ahead and let's move back to hoops. All right, y'all. Monday night, Kyrie Irving tore his ACL. They didn't know what it was, but we found out on Tuesday morning. So I think we all gonna have the same reaction to this in terms of how Dallas looks the rest of the year. But Jared, what's your reaction?
Nico Harrison, I'm not gonna lie. I'll be surprised if he makes it the rest of the season. I'm not gonna lie to you because it looks so bad on his part. Like when he made the trade, it looked bad, of course, because you gave up Luka, like you gave up your future for Anthony Davis, especially when Anthony Davis got hurt. But Kyrie has been hooping. He's been playing great basketball, and if he could have just held on until Anthony Davis comes back, until Derek Lively comes back, until Daniel Gafford comes back, if this team would have snuck into the playoffs, they could have been nice. They could have been competitive with these other teams. But unfortunately, Kyrie went down. And so it's just and then I could say Anthony Davis will be back soon. You're on the bubble already. You have to wait until Anthony Davis gets back. And as of right now, like, who's your number one guy going to be now? Klay Thompson, your number one guy? Like, no disrespect to Klay, which, mind you, Klay isn't even like – it's not like we're talking about Golden State Klay. Steph and Draymond get hurt, so now it's just Klay Thompson out there by himself. No, this is current day Klay Thompson, a guy that'll go from having 20 in a night to having 8.
Hey, look, I don't mean to cut you off, but why did they bring Klay there?
To play off of Luka, which hurt when you moved Luka. Which, mind you, it doesn't hurt that much because Kyrie Irving can get the ball to his shooters just because of how much of a threat he is with the ball. I get past my first guy, you come and help. Now they don't got nobody to get past nobody, and it's like, mind you, another thing that this man did, traded Quentin Grimes. I don't think a lot of y'all know, but he's been hooping. He's been hooping, and he's had a big night for Philly, I want to say, last week. So,
40, I think.
Yes, exactly. He had 40. And mind you, when he was with Dallas, when Luka went down, he stepped up. He stepped up, and he was showing a lot of promise, and they traded him away whenever they made the Luka and trade and all that. So you really have nobody to lean on with this current roster situation. So your season's over, and mind you, not only is your season over, but now LA looks like they want to go make a run for the title, which you just gave them the key to making the run for the title. So you lose Kyrie, you lose Anthony Davis for some time, lost Derek Lively, lost Daniel Gafford, traded away Luka, traded away Quentin Grimes, who I thought was going to be, this is a young player that's going to come to his own and going to have a big role. It's bad. It really looks bad on him right now. I'm not going to lie. And now they're going to be relying on PJ Washington, Klay Thompson. This season's over for his team. And it's just, I mean, like I said, it's so bad because like Kyrie was really like he was playing some great basketball these past couple weeks after Luka got traded away. So prayers out to Kyrie, man. But City of Dallas, I think they're rioting right now. They want that man's head on a stake.
All right, real.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, Jared, you said a lot of interesting things there, and everything you said was true, 100%. And I just want to start off by saying though, prayers up to Kyrie Irving with the torn ACL, man. That definitely hurt my heart because he's definitely a praying man, and he's also one of the best players in the NBA. So that one definitely hurt. And but I also want to say that the Mavericks call me crazy, but I think that they can definitely make the playoffs. And I know the world is not gonna like that. I know the world's gonna think I'm crazy for that. But like I was telling Jalen earlier, the Mavs are a really, really deep team. And all season I've been saying the Thunder were the deepest team in the NBA and we have the best bench. But today I looked at the Dallas Mavericks stats for the first time this year, and I noticed that 9 players averaged 10 points or more, and 3 players averaged 9 points or more. And then they have Jaden Hardy right there averaging 8. So that's 13 guys I just named, and you can only have 12 in the game, like on the bench. You know what I'm saying? So this team is really, really, really deep. Without Kyrie Irving, they still have Max Christie. They still have Spencer Dinwiddie, who's played really, really solid minutes this year. We can't forget about AD. If AD comes back and Derek Lively comes back, this team is still really scary. This team's definitely better than the Suns. So I feel like that last playoff play-in spot is definitely secured. And we all before the episode were saying that the Suns sucked. We were saying that they just need to give up. They just need to look forward to next year. Why not? Like, why can't this young team of bench players, of role players, show that they can make a playoff run? And we all seen Jason Kidd. We all know he has a really good defensive scheme. We've seen him in the finals. We've seen him in the conference championship these past years. He's a really good defensive-minded coach. So I don't see why he can't. I honestly don't. So call me crazy, but I think the Mavericks could definitely give somebody a scare in the play-in, or definitely give somebody a run for their money at the 8th seed or 7th seed. But to be honest, OKC is OKC. So
Yeah, that's the thing. So they will end up playing OKC if they got the play in anyway. So they're gonna be the 9 or 10 spot, right? So they win they 2 games, they will end up playing OKC first round exit. But they could get out the play in because as of right now, guess who just moved out the play in? The Warriors,
yes,
right?
sir.
Thank God, because the way things was going, there was gonna be 7 right now. LA at 2. Let's just say. Let's just say the season ended today. That's who they would end up playing. But if the Warriors stay out, you got the Timberwolves and the Clippers. I think the Timberwolves will beat the Clippers, honestly. And if the Mavericks could beat the Kings, you got the Mavericks and the Clippers. Hey, who knows? With the healthy AD, because that's the one thing that I was thinking about today. Like Kyrie is gone, Luka's gone, but you have AD. If AD plays like AD, the AD we know and love, then they have a number 1 option still. Like it's not a team that just lost their number 1 option. Now they're cooked, right? Like AD can be a number 1 option. And maybe if AD knows that, okay, I'm not playing with LeBron no more. I'm not potentially playing with Kyrie no more. I'm the guy. Like I'm the dude. Who knows? We might see glimpses of New Orleans AD. I'm just putting that out there. It's possible. Not saying they can make any noise, but AD can do that and be. You don't think AD can do that for a game, 2 games? You don't think he can do that against the Kings and do that against the Clippers? You don't think that can happen?
No,
I definitely do,
I
especially
don't.
against
I don't. I don't. I don't think he can. I don't think he can channel that New Orleans energy. I just don't. I don't. But I mean, finish what you're gonna say though, because I have something to say after this. But finish your points. You know.
I'm just saying. I don't appreciate the AD disrespect. He just had like 40 and 20 like a month ago, a couple months
That's
ago.
fine. That's okay.
I'm saying
That's
like
cool.
he still got
That's
it in him.
cool. That's
But
cool.
what Rail said was 1,000% true. They deep. But my pushback against that is they was deep with Kyrie and AD, right? So those players like the Dinwiddies and the Dana Hardys and those guys, they're moving up in priority now. You see what I'm saying? Like, for example, let's just say I played receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. All right. And I played besides Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I'm going to be open a lot, right? I might have a couple catches. I might surprise some people. But if Jamar Chase get hurt and T. Higgins get hurt, and now you got Quinyon Mitchell guarding me, or you got Sauce guarding me, or Christian Gonzalez guarding me, I'm cooked. Right? I'm done. I'm not getting open. I'm not, you see what I'm saying? So in that regards, these guys are now having to do more. They're no longer necessarily just strictly role players. Like Dinwiddie, now he has to create his own shot. He got to get it back. He has to go score points if they want to compete. So it's going to be interesting to see that. But I see what you were saying. They were deep, but I think after this injury, it changes things because those guys have to be more so scorers now. They have to, because you don't got no primary scorer anymore. Klay Thompson, why I love that trade so much in the beginning of the year is because you just made everything so open for Luka. Because if you double team or crash on Luka, Klay is open. And we know Klay can get hot. We know it. And we know Klay can still consistently hit his shots, especially when he's open. And he would have been open with Luka. That's why the Luka trade made no sense. And now that Kyrie's gone, who gonna pass the ball to Klay? Like, Klay gonna get the ball, but he's not gonna be open. Somebody gonna be in his face. I'm not stepping over to help with Dinwiddie. Right? I'm not. So that it hurts everything. And Real, you got a point because the Suns just lost to the Clippers, right? And Portland is under the Suns. I don't see Portland getting in. So Dallas can hang on to that 10th spot. What they got to play in, that's a big question. Actually, it's not that big of a question mark because I'm not that big on the Clippers. I'm not that big on the Kings. Can they beat the Kings and the Clippers? It's possible. But it's unfortunate to see Kyrie go through this injury because he's older, right? So how would the recovery be? Like, we're looking at it theoretically, he's not going to be back to like January next year.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to see him coming back and being the same old Kyrie with his age. Like, that's the scary part. So what Jerry said, Nico Harrison, bro, you're going to need 24/7 security, my brother. Like, that's how bad it is. You got rid of Luka, and I'm not – it's unfair to blame this on him because he didn't think Kyrie would get hurt, right? He think I'm going to the playoffs with Kyrie, AD, and Klay, which is not bad, right? But now that Kyrie gone, like, it's nothing there. And AD, we assuming he coming back. You know what? But now that Kyrie's gone, what if Dallas said, you know what, AD, wait till next year. Go ahead and shut it down. Wait till next year. You never know how they could be thinking right now. But yeah, Dallas, look, you got two GMs that I really question why they're GMs. And Jerry Jones and Nico and Nico Harrison, all right? But Jerry, what was your rebuttal?
I just don't think. If you look at it, man, Portland's been playing some really great basketball lately. And when we were talking about could the Phoenix Suns squeeze in, one of y'all mentioned Portland. And y'all actually like Portland's odds of making it better than y'all like Phoenix odds of making it.
I think that was Tyrell. Put a name on that one. Make sure you attach a name to that. Don't be just.
There's nothing wrong with that take.
I don't think I said they have a better chance at making it. I just said that they have a chance, like they're hot. I said that. I promise.
Yeah, he said they got a puncher's chance. I think he said that.
That's cool. Wait, it's not even bad. If you did say, that's not even bad. They're playing great. You realize they just lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers by 4 points. Mind you, I think Donovan Mitchell wasn't playing, but still, this is the number one team in the East. He played. So he played that game. So he played the game.
No. I promise you. I watched that game. He didn't play. He was out.
Yeah, he didn't play that game.
I promise y'all, Donovan played.
He didn't play that game.
What about Darius Garland played.
I'm looking at it right here. He didn't play that game.
This happened last night.
I have it right here. He didn't play that game.
No. Not last night. He talking about a couple nights ago.
This was like Sunday. This was Sunday.
Who did Cleveland just play last night? Cleveland just played you, bro.
No clue. I know they played Sunday.
They had their 11th straight win, right?
I think it was against Portland.
Sorry. Cleveland played the Bulls. I'm tripping. They played the Bulls this past night, but they played Portland. You're right. I think that was Sunday. I think.
That was Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday. Yeah, they played Portland Sunday.
Yeah.
But that's still good. Like, they've been playing great basketball, and if you look at it, look at the standings. The
That's a
Mavs
fun
are 32-30. They're 28-34. 4 games away. Is Anthony Davis going to be back in the next 6 games? If he's not back in the next 6 to 8 games, the Mavs are cooked. I can guarantee you, because I don't see in their next 6 games, I don't see them really doing anything. I really don't. I find it, mind you, their next 6 games, they have to play the Bucks, they have to play the Grizzlies, they play the Suns, they play the Spurs back to back, then they play the Rockets. That's their next 6 games. Only game that I can really see them winning with no Anthony Davis is that Suns game.
Yeah,
And that right there.
cancel it. I was trying to find you a timeline for AD, and I've seen a lot of articles saying that he might shut it down since Kyrie got hurt. That's what I'm saying.
Because he knows that in the next couple games, if he's not back, they're gonna lose. And when they lose, Portland's gonna jump them. So look, man, it's over for Dallas. It is. And even if they did make it, I guarantee you they wasn't gonna make out the play-in. I can tell you that right now. Anthony Davis would have had to drop 60 for that to happen. And he don't got that in him. So they're not gonna make it out. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Y'all might look at me sideways. Okay, now that it's shifted, they would have played the Clippers first. But I think I want to say a couple of nights ago, last time I looked at it, Sacramento was number 9. Mm-hmm. They weren't gonna beat Sacramento. I can tell you that right now. They were. We've seen what Sabonis done to Anthony Davis before.
But that's the thing, though. Sabonis hurt that. Sabonis hurt too. We don't know. He out indefinitely.
Is he gonna be out? I think he'll be. If he's not, they would have said out for the rest of the season if he wouldn't have been back. They just not putting a timetable on it. I think he'll be back before the playoffs. They would have said out for the season if not. And knowing that they're in the play-in and they have a chance to make it, knowing that, mind you, like you said, the Warriors aren't a play-in team anymore, the Lakers aren't a play-in team anymore, the Clippers, Dallas, Minnesota, you might lose that game in Minnesota, but outside of that, you can beat the Clippers in Dallas. So I think he'll definitely come back. But look, man, the Mavs season is over. This has to be the quickest downfall I've seen. To go from being in the finals, having the arguably best player in the league, future of the NBA, to not even making the play-in. That's the quickest downfall. It has to be.
Yeah, I called it, but I called it for the wrong reason. Like, I remember I said they went from finals hopeful to hopefully we can get in the playoffs, right, after you traded Luka. But I said that assuming that they would struggle with AD being out and stuff like that. But I didn't know Kyrie would get hurt like this. So now that Kyrie hurt like this, you went from final hopeful to, hey, let's get ready for next year. Off rip. And that's assuming they don't make the play-in, like Jerry said, they make the play-in. They might not make it. I don't know. If they play the Clippers, I would not put it past the Dallas Mavericks to get a little upset. I just wouldn't. Because like I said, the Kings, you're right. Sabonis and them, they nice. But, shut it down. It's over.
Zubac been playing great basketball this year. Kawhi Leonard looks like he's trying to find a rhythm. No.
Ooh, so Zubac. Wait, you said so Zubac playing good basketball. You said Kawhi getting the rhythm, right?
Yeah.
And Norman Powell, he got snubbed from the All-Star game, right?
Yeah.
So that's a nice 3. And as of right now, they're gonna be playing the Thunder first round. So Jared, you trying to say they gonna
I wouldn't even play like that. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't even play like that.
I'm just messing with real.
I wouldn't even play like that.
I'm just messing with real. I know.
There's not a chance.
Yeah, facts. I don't even think the Clippers gonna make the playoffs. Before tonight, they were 1-5 in their last 6 games. But whatever Jared thinks,
it's okay though. It's okay though, Tyrell. This y'all first round. At least now we can say y'all gonna make it out the first round.
Sure.
At least now y'all guaranteed. When the Warriors and the Lakers didn't play in, we did not know. So at least y'all guaranteed a second round appearance.
Sounds good. I feel like any team 2 through 12 gonna get it. That's how I feel.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If the playoffs started today, y'all would be going to the conference finals, and it would be so sad. It would be so unfortunate because y'all would have to play. Y'all would play. Let's just say Sacramento. Y'all play Sacramento, and then y'all have to turn around and play the Rockets or Memphis. Two teams that aren't ready for the playoffs. Y'all just cakewalk.
I feel like it's gonna be a cakewalk regardless. Like we're gonna approach every game the same exact way.
Okay.
But hopefully,
So now, it bums me out because now it's just a thing of okay, I made it to the conference championship. Like this is a step forward from last year, but y'all could have been second round, first round exits. That would have because it would have been like, hey, they're not who we thought they were, and that's my whole thing. OKC's not who we think they are.
And that bet off the table if that happens. Remember we said that if Shea got to the finals, we're gonna say that's the greatest finals run that.
Oh yeah, see, now we can't even say that no more.
We can't. If you play
Everything's dwindling down.
Like that's not. Come on, man.
Hey, chill.
No,
We just not ready yet. We just not ready yet. We just not ready yet. We just not ready yet.
I was proud of you. I was proud of you the other day when you said, "I'm gonna be real. We ain't ready." So keep it like that.
That's what I'm saying right now. We're not ready yet. But don't just sit up here and act like we just some clowns. Like don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Y'all will show y'all true colors.
Don't do that. That's fine. We're young. We have time.
we're younger than y'all, and there's no excuses.
You said what?
We're younger than y'all, and there's no excuses. You talking about?
We don't have a Shea.
If we lose,
we don't have the MVP. We don't have the MVP. We didn't give us Shea, and
I gotta build an MVP.
It'd be a different story.
You gotta build an MVP. Shea ain't just come an MVP.
Yeah.
We ain't trade for
Y'all
Shea.
traded for the man. Y'all didn't even draft him. Y'all traded for the man.
Hey, bro, we had to build him. When he came, he was a 12-point per game type nigga.
Chris Paul allowed this to happen. When y'all got Chris Paul, he let Shea know how it needs to go, and then Shea started hooping.
And you see
what Chris Paul
Castle turning into, right?
Yeah. Thank Chris Paul. It wasn't y'all. It was Chris Paul. Y'all didn't develop nothing. It was Chris Paul.
Hey, y'all got one of the best coaches in the league, dude.
You're right. That's why I said give us some time. Give us some time. At first, I was a believer, trade Jalen Green, trade Jabari Smith, go get a star. But maybe we don't got to do that. Maybe Jalen Green can keep developing. You said what?
Jabari Smith is a bust.
He is.
Top 3 pick 4 years in a row.
He's a bust. I'm so mad because that was a draft that everybody said for some reason he was going to go 1. Paulo was going to go 2nd. It didn't happen that way. I'm mad about it to this day. But it's cool, though. It's cool. Even with him being a bust, look at where we are. We are ahead of the curve. We are ahead of schedule.
I heard 4 years in a row. Wow.
We're ahead of schedule. We shouldn't be here right now.
Y'all were behind schedule. Y'all were second in the West before. Now y'all just dropping.
Look who's ahead of us now. This is the critical moment. Look, before the season started, you can ask him. My goal, I told him, we're a playing team. He laughed in my face. When I said we're a playing team, he ha in my face. So the fact that we're hanging on with the 5th seed right now, I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I'm good. We did what I said we need to do. I said we need to win early. Back whenever he said these games don't matter, I said if you're a young team trying to make the play-in or make the playoffs, all 82 games matter. Especially the games before All-Star break. You can win as many of those games as you can. You'll set yourself up for when the championship contenders start playing their best basketball and you start losing games, you'll be fine because you gave yourself some cushion. That's what we did. I'm proud of where we are. As long as I'm not gonna lie to you. Being completely honest, we beat Memphis in the first round. Guaranteed. We beat Memphis in the first round.
All right, so we got a date with Jared and Tyrone in the second round.
We beat Memphis, and they're gonna have that. That's fine. But we beat Memphis in the first round. That's real.
I don't think so because they have
a here.
We want to see John Morant. We want to see John Morant.
Into the playoffs.
I want to see John Morant. Come on. I want to see him. I want to see him.
Hey,
I said Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm not worried about it.
Push back.
I'm not worried about it.
I'm not worried about it.
We good on Memphis.
Y'all were both first round exits. Y'all just so happened to play each other in the first round. that only one of y'all can lose.
You're right, and it's gonna be them.
Yeah, but clearly, all this talk, we are ready for the NBA playoffs. All right, it couldn't get here any faster because it's time to put up or shut up. But some people have been writing some checks. I don't know if they're gonna be able to cash whenever it comes to playoffs.
You're right. You're right. That man coming to collect them. Hey, it's okay. I know who check is gonna cash.
Say for MVP, OKC to the championship. Yes, the final is gonna be in OKC.
TD Garden.
Yeah. A couple games gonna be over there too.
All roads lead to TD Garden.
A couple games gonna be over there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie. I'm against both of y'all. I don't think the finals will be OKC. I don't even know if it's gonna be in TD Garden either. Because I saw somebody.
Don't do it. Stop. Don't do it. Stop. Hey. I'm trying to warn you right now. Don't end up on the wrong side of history, man. I'm trying to warn you right now. They're fraud.
Do not. You will go viral saying the wrong thing.
For real. The
Cavs are not going to the final. They are frauds.
Real. The Cavs look good, don't they?
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be 100% honest. They look real good last year too. They couldn't stay healthy. Like Donovan Mitchell couldn't stay healthy in the playoffs.
No,
exactly. My gosh!
This year, assuming they're gonna stay healthy, they got y'all. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. That's a collision course. I cannot wait for the Cavs and Celtics in the conference finals. Because Jerry think everything's sweet. Jerry thinks we a little cakewalk. Jerry thinks no problem. Jerry said, and this is the thing too. It's cool for Jerry to pick the Celtics, right? Jason Tatum, that's his guy. You know what I'm saying? I respect it. But he said Celtics in 5 if they play.
Oh, wow.
I did. Donovan Mitchell, Mike Mitchell and Ness. Celtics in 5.
They got him in 5 last time, right?
Stamp that down. Yep. Stamp it.
Mitchell got hurt. You just said
I don't care.
He did. He definitely finished the series, though. He definitely finished the series.
It's okay. Come on to TD Garden. Actually, it's gonna start in Cleveland. That's fine. Go ahead. It's gonna be 1-1 coming out of Cleveland. Gonna win both games in TD Garden, and then gonna end it in Cleveland. Gonna end it in your house. That's how disrespectful Jason Tatum feeling this year. Go end it in your house.
Hey, J-Best, for some reason, I could kind of like see them like Boston just beating up on Cleveland just because of everything Cleveland did to them during the regular season. So I could kind of like just see it. And I don't know. I really just feel like those guards are going to be too small to handle Brown and Tatum. Like they attack Darius Garland every time.
Every time. Every time.
That's why I love that trade they made for DeAndre Hunter. Because now when it gets crunch time, Darius, I'm sorry, you got to come out the game because they gonna just attack you. Like throughout the game, it's cool because Darius can clap back right on offense. Darius, look, he is one of the shiftiest, quickest players I've ever seen. He just got to learn how to shoot more. He just got to shoot more in my opinion. Because it's so many times he lost a Boston defender and he just wouldn't shoot. Like he at the end he did, but I'm talking about the whole entire game. But at the end of the game, you got to come out, and that's okay because that's DeAndre Hunter now. So they have a 5.
Yeah, but on offense, what you gonna do now? Now it's just Donovan Mitchell.
Nothing.
DeAndre can
score. DeAndre can score too. Don't do that.
He can't score like that.
He can't score like Darius, but he can
score. He scored good though.
He can't score like that.
And what they do at the end of that game?
Pull up that man's stats tonight.
They gave the ball.
You'll be very disappointed. If that's who you're gonna put on the court with crunch time coming around, you're going to be very disappointed. Go pull that man's stats tonight.
They gave the ball to Donovan Mitchell and they said in the game, and he did it in TD Garden.
Hey, bro, that defense different. That defense different in the playoffs. Jaylen Brown is sitting on that. Okay. Drew Holiday is sitting on that.
I can't wait.
Drew ain't played the other day. Drew Holiday is sitting on that in the playoffs. Crunch time, he's sitting on that. Donovan will go for 30. That's fine. You can have it. But it's the last 4 minutes that count.
I can't wait. And real quick, shout out to Kenny Atkinson, head coach for the Cavs. He looked real good. Unfortunately, I don't think he can win Coach of the Year because what's his name? I think got it on locks, especially after the turnaround the Lakers had. I think JJ Redick gonna win. I think it's just
very unfair.
I think
you have Luka and LeBron. You don't need it. Luka and LeBron, you don't deserve Coach of the Year. I'm sorry, you just don't.
So the team defense being number 1 over the past like 19 games don't matter.
Look at who you have. You have defenders on your squad. Did you build that roster? Your scheme's good and all, but you need players to execute the scheme.
Man, I
he don't deserve it. He don't deserve it over the Cavs head coach.
Yeah, I think Kenny Atkinson will win.
Especially, huh?
I think Kenny Atkinson will win. And before JJ Redick win, the Pistons coach will win before JJ Redick will win.
Oh, that too.
Agreed.
I think those three should be the finalists.
For sure.
Because did your boy win last year or am I tripping?
Yeah, he definitely not going to win.
Yeah.
Well, he is the MVP. No chance.
So, yeah, I think those three are the finalists for sure. But the reason why I think JJ should definitely get it is because when he got hired, everybody laughed at LA. Everybody laughed at LA and said, ooh, all y'all did was hire LeBron's podcast partner. Everybody, including me. I even sat there and scratched my head a little bit like, everybody did. You too.
I did.
Exactly.
I did. And before the trade, we were still scratching our heads.
And look at what he's done. Last year, this team was a playing team. Now, of
Look
course, like I said,
they were a playing team before Luka. Look at what Luka has done.
You've had Luka since the All-Star break. It's not
Look at what Luka has done.
It's not act like he's been here since
this stretch after the All-Star break is why y'all are number 2 in the West. Were y'all not playing before All-Star break? Or like right by number 6?
We like 5-4, somewhere right there.
Are you sure?
I promise you, wasn't playing before
the All-Star break. You weren't ahead of Memphis. You weren't ahead of Houston. You weren't ahead of Denver. You weren't ahead of the Clippers. I don't think either before All-Star break.
No, I think we were. I'm telling you.
Are you sure?
I'm telling you right now.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
We were not in the play-in. I promise you that it was not the play-in. I can guarantee.
Are you sure?
I promise. And there's no way I can pull it up because this is the updated standings. But I promise you, they was not no playing team after the All-Star break.
That's fine. Barely hanging on to second seed because of Luka. It's okay.
But Luka ain't even been like that lately since he been back. Luka
have you seen him and LeBron's averages since they've been playing together?
I've seen that. Have you seen Luka's shooting percentage since he's been in LA?
That's fine.
He done built so many. You know, I was about to. Let me stop. Let's stop. Jerry know I was going there. Let me stop.
You stay trying to find a way to get us canceled every single episode.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you what I was about to say whenever we cut this thing off. All right, but that's it from the Straight to the Point podcast. Right from your boy Jay Bez, your boy Jerry, and your boy Real. Don't forget, give me up to 400 subscribers and then comment on this video, and you will get, or you have a chance to get this CJ STROUD jersey right here from now to in the March. All right. And also, we got our bracket challenge coming up, so it's a lot happening with the Straight to the Point podcast. Also, check out Tyrell's stream on Twitch. All right, and that's it from the Straight to the Point podcast. All right, much love. Y'all stay blessed. We out.